Hey, have you ever woken up from a dream and thought, what on earth was that? Maybe you were flying. Maybe you were back in high school trying to find a locker that didn't exist. Dreams are weird, wonderful, and totally central to being human. But why does your brain choose those specific plots, people, and bizarre feelings? That's what we're exploring today. For centuries, people saw dreams as mystical messages or omens. Now, thanks to incredible leaps in neuroscience and psychology, we know they are actually a crucial functional activity of your mind. They aren't just random static, they're work. Let's start with the basics. Dreams happen across all stages of sleep, but the most intense, vivid, and highly detailed dreams occur during REM sleep, rapid eye movement. During REM, your brain activity looks almost exactly like it does when you're awake. It's wild. The amazing thing is that your body is temporarily paralyzed, a safety mechanism called atonia, which keeps you from jumping out of bed and acting out that action. This temporary state is the dream engine. But why does this engine run for roughly 2 hours every single night? The leading scientific explanation is that dreaming is a form of overnight therapy and deep data management. It's your brain's way of sorting through the massive data dump of the previous day, deciding what information to keep, what to throw away, and what needs to be filed under emotional lesson learned. Specifically, dreams play a vital role in memory consolidation. Your hippocampus, your brain's primary memory hub, works with your neocortex to stabilize long-term memories. Dreams often reenact recent events, but they do it in a highly bizarre, fragmented way. Think of it as your mind performing a very fast, surreal, and messy data cleanup that strengthens those important neural pathways. Understanding this biological necessity is key. You don't dream for fun, you dream for function. Now that we know when and how we dream, let's tackle the biggest, most personal question. Why do you dream what you dream? The number one factor determining your dream's content isn't logic or what you watched on TV. It's emotion. During REM sleep, the part of your brain that handles intense feeling, the amygdala, is highly active, often working overtime. At the same time, the part that handles reasoning and critical thought, the prefrontal cortex, is mostly shut down. This imbalance is why dreams are so emotionally charged, intense, and why the plots make absolutely no rational sense. Your brain is filtering the emotional energy of the day, but without any adult supervision to keep it logical. If you felt anxious about a presentation, your dream might turn that anxiety into being chased by a monster. The plot is symbolic, the emotion is real and specific. Beyond emotion, the other big neurological driver is the activation synthesis theory. This elegant science suggests that dreams are simply your forebrain trying to make sense of random electrical signals being fired up from the brainstem during REM sleep. Imagine your brainstem randomly hits a bunch of keyboard keys. One is labeled running, another is labeled blue sky, and a third is labeled your boss. Your forebrain, desperate for a coherent narrative, immediately synthesizes those random inputs into a story. You are running from your blue sky-colored boss. Dreams are essentially your brain's best, weirdest guess at creating a story from neurological static. And finally, a crucial source of content is what Sigmund Freud called day residue. Dreams are naturally filled with images, conversations, and events from the previous day. However, psychologists have also discovered the dream lag effect. This is the fascinating finding that the most emotionally significant events from about 5 to 7 days ago often appear in our dreams. Your brain seems to give itself a week of conscious processing time before truly tackling deep emotional issues in a dream state. So if you had a big fight last Saturday, expect it to pop up in a bizarre, symbolic dream sometime this week, as your mind finally gets to work on it. For centuries, dreams were the primary tool of psychotherapy. To truly understand dream content, we have to look at the two giants who shaped how we interpret what we see. Let's start with the Freudian perspective. Wish fulfillment. Sigmund Freud saw dreams as the royal road to the unconscious. For Freud, dreams were all about wish fulfillment. They were a carefully constructed stage where your deepest, darkest, and often most socially unacceptable desires could play out safely. He divided dream content into two parts: the manifest content, the literal story you remember, and the latent content, the hidden unconscious meaning. Freud believed the content was heavily disguised by symbolism to protect you from recognizing your true, forbidden desires. Now let's turn our attention to the Jungian perspective, archetypes and compensation. Carl Jung, initially Freud's star student, had a broader, more spiritual view. He believed dreams serve a compensatory function. If you spent your day being overly logical and suppressing your emotions, your dream will compensate by flooding your mind with emotion and irrationality to bring your psyche back into balance. Jung also introduced the powerful concept of archetypes, universal symbolic images present in the collective unconscious, like the shadow, your dark, repressed side, or the wise old man. For Jung, your dreams are less about satisfying urges and more about spiritual and psychological balance. And bringing things into the modern day, we have the emotional processing theory. This view argues that the primary function of dreaming is to strip the raw emotion from a memory, allowing you to successfully integrate it without the associated fear or anxiety. The dream reenacts the event, but because the stress hormones are lower during REM, the brain can finally work through the emotional residue. This is why when you wake up, the issue you were dealing with often feels less intense than it did the day before. Finally, let's explore the powerful extremes of the dreaming mind, the bad dreams and the self-aware ones. The function of nightmares. Nightmares are incredibly vivid and frightening dreams. They are a healthy, necessary function. Nightmares are simply your brain's way of running threat simulations in a safe environment. If you are dealing with stress or trauma, your nightmares often repeat the emotional structure of that threat, allowing you to process the intense fear without the actual danger. It's like stress testing your mental resilience to make it stronger. The science of lucid dreaming. A lucid dream is when you become consciously aware that you are dreaming while still asleep. It's the ultimate form of self-awareness. Neuroscience shows that during lucid dreaming, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles logic, suddenly spikes in activity. Techniques for achieving lucidity involve reality testing throughout the day. Constantly asking, "Am I dreaming?" This trains your brain to look for logical consistency, even when you're unconscious. Lucid dreaming is used to help people confront nightmares and is a powerful tool for creativity. Dreams are far more than random images. They are the essential, functional, emotional, and psychological work your mind does every night to keep you whole, balanced, and ready for tomorrow. Now I want to hear from you. What is the most bizarre recurring dream you've ever had, and based on the science we covered, what do you think the emotion behind it was? Let me know in the comments.